Hey, I'm Kimberly with Elixir Mentor. Jacob recently added recruitment services to help companies hire pre-vetted Elixir devs. I help with company outreach, so if you're hiring, I may be reaching out, or you can connect with us anytime at elixirmentor.com.
Secure your Elixir apps with Paraxial IO. From code analysis and bot defense to dependency checks, they've got you covered. Elixir first design with GitHub integration. Elevate your security at Paraxial.io. Testing. What's up? I'm Jacob Litzo, your Elixir Mentor, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Elixir Mentor podcast. This is where we discuss everything related to Elixir, from interviews with enthusiasts, pioneers in the community, to innovative projects and libraries shaping Elixir's future. Today, I'm joined by Barnabas Jovanovics, a core Ash framework engineer. And thank you so much, Barnabas, for joining me today. Do you want to just give a brief introduction of who you are?
So I'm Barnabas. I'm on the Ash core teams. Been there for 2 years now. Yeah, 2 years now. I've been working for Alembic for the past year and do mostly building stuff with Ash in my day job.
Awesome. Very cool. Yeah, I'm excited. So we were talking quite a bit before we went live, and I was saying that Ash might be the most popular thing happening in the Elixir community because since I announced and did my little teaser video for my Ash course that I'm building, I've had the most subscribers in the last 2 days than I have in a very long time, which is wild.
Yeah, it's really great. I mean, you could really feel the uptick after the beta book release at the beginning of the year. And we still have questions about video, so I think it's really great that you're doing that, and we get something for the peeps that just like video.
Yeah. I was very excited about the book, and the book helped me feel comfortable enough to make the video course, because you're always paranoid that you're gonna teach things wrong, and then comments, they just blow up.
Yeah. But that's also the best way to learn, right? To put something wrong out there, and then you get all the right answers.
That is true. I've learned a lot putting out the wrong things.
Yeah.
So I'd love to kind of hear a little bit about your history. What pulled you into the Elixir world? Kind of what pulled Elixir on your radar?
Yeah. So I'm actually a pretty late starter when it comes to programming. My dad was a web developer, but he lived in Sweden and I lived in Austria, so I didn't see him too often. But when I was 14, I spent the whole summer break at his place, and he showed me the things he was doing with PHP and JavaScript back then. And to be honest, I didn't really get it at the point. I just wanted to play video games, not write code. And then after, I did an apprenticeship as an electrician, and we did a bit of programming for those logic controller stuff, which I found pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
And yeah.
We kind of have a similar background. I was kind of in manufacturing world, and I did a lot of programmable logic controller and automation work.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after my apprenticeship at that company, I switched to another one, and I did just maintenance all over Europe. And also that was the company gave me the ability to go to the States for the first time, which was really cool when I was 21. Spent 2 months there in New Jersey, Chicago, and Houston a little bit. Was really amazing at the time. And at that company, after 2 years, I worked then in their automation engineering department, where I then programmed all their the stacker cranes. We were doing automated stacker cranes in high-rise warehouses. So I programmed that for 2 years. And while I was doing that job, because you spend a lot of time alone in hotels and stuff, I kind of started then learning programming on the side. And after a while, I wanted to do something new, so I started getting my A levels. And after I had those, I think I thought okay, now I have it, but what do I do with it? And I kind of wanted to get into programming, so I did the bachelor's degree in software engineering here at the university. And mostly those were 3 really chill years, because I knew most of the stuff already, but I just used this for networking. And I started working in the in the second semester, a day a week for first for like a DevOps, like more in the DevOps role, and then in another company for more web dev stuff. And with that company, I stayed after after uni, doing mostly front end stuff because nobody else wanted to do it, and yeah, got to learn React. But I actually kind of liked it because we did more application level stuff. So there was a lot of like architecturing and stuff. And because nobody else wanted to do it, I got to re-architecture the whole web stack that we use for the front end. And then we also did the React app for a TV, which was interesting because of the constraints that the machine had, that it only had like 150 megabytes of RAM and a small processor unit. And like usually you don't think of React apps as the fastest, but we had to think about a lot of about memorization and all of that stuff. So yeah, it was interesting in its own way. And then I switched companies to another one, and there I did like mostly backend, and we were only 3 people. And they had built a Node app with Nest.js for the backend, and I think the end-to-end tests ran for like over 12 hours and stuff, and like testing in general was just pretty bad. So when we had the chance to build a new backend, we started thinking about what we wanted to do, and the other guy that also did backend, he also did Elixir in the past a little bit on the side, and was just like, I also got into Elixir just by going to meetups, most in Germany, and we did like seven languages in 7 weeks, and the other one of those had Elixir in it, and like some of the people there were also very interested in Elixir, and so I just dabbled in it. And I always kind of liked the functional programming way more. I never really got too much into OO. I always felt a little bit like an unnecessary abstraction on top of what was already there. And I did also, like in the front end world, I always used the Lodash and did all of the like mapping and reducing and all of that stuff. And it just always felt more natural to me, like followed more the way I think with the transformations of the data.
I wish I
Kinda,
started with functional
yeah,
programming.
yeah. Yeah, so yeah, just made a lot more sense to me. And also like coming from the React or at the front end, you also had to think a lot about immutability and stuff, even if it wasn't in the language, but just the way how React does the comparisons and things like that. And I also really liked Redux, so that yeah, just all made a lot of sense to me. And yeah, I like what we used, and that's the interesting thing about then switching to Elixir is I like my colleague knew about Ash, I didn't know about Ash, and I was pretty skeptical in the beginning because we used PostgreFile in my last company for like the backend for the front end kind of stuff, and that's more like Hasura. I don't know if you've heard of one of those.
I've heard of
But
them. I don't know much
yeah,
about them though.
yeah, but that's where you do everything in SQL and you just get the API generated from your
Oh, okay.
database. Yeah, and so I was like, I didn't have the like best experience with that because yeah, as soon as you wanted to do something that wasn't like the happy path, it was pretty complicated. And I thought like Ash would maybe be the same. But yeah, we decided to give it like a chance and like look for like implement like 2 or 3 features in it and just see how it goes. And we started that because it was kind of like the simplest thing at the time. Because we knew like we could have done just Phoenix with context and stuff, but we knew that we needed like pagination and filtering and all of that. And there are like a bunch of different libraries that work with Ecto to give you that kind of stuff. But it was just a bunch of decisions that we had to make like upfront, and we didn't know any of the libraries, and the Ash just gave us all out of the box. So it was just one decision versus like 10 decisions. Yeah, and started doing Ash as the first thing. And like we started pretty quickly going like one of the more advanced features. Like one of the first things I did was did like a proof of concept data layer for commanded, because we were kind of interested in like, or like interested in the idea of doing like the whole event sourcing kind of thing, but then decided against it. Like the piece of concept data layer worked, but we still decided to go against it because we worked off of the same database as the old backend, and just making that all work with each other wouldn't been like worth it at the moment. And commanded is cool, but it's also pretty opinionated, so we just weren't sure about it and then didn't go with it. And the other thing that was maybe interesting like back then, because nowadays a lot of people go and look for like the Ash way to do a certain thing.
Yeah.
And for us, there for certain things there was no Ash way at the time. Like there were no bulk actions, so I did like all the ecto multi stuff and that like by hand, just reusing the Ash resources ecto structs. And that just worked. And like that was also why we then like went further, because we saw, okay, even if it's not like built into the system, it's very easy to do it like a different way, and it's kind of all just functions in the end. It's very composable that way.
Yeah, so your first experience with Elixir, you were just straight into Ash, huh?
Yeah, I did like I bought like the first book that I bought was Sasha Jurč's one, Elixir in Action. And it
Okay,
was the
yep,
one
that's a good one.
where it still had, I think, hash maps or dictionaries or something. There were no the maps were coming then in the next version. So I was aware of Elixir a lot earlier than that.
Okay.
But yeah, I didn't build anything. I did like a couple of hobby, small kind of side project things. And the other thing that I did at work at one point, we had to migrate a WordPress site to our system. And I just used Elixir to pull out all of the data, transform it, and put it into the new database. But yeah, other than that, I had no real. And I did like implementation of the real world project in university.
Oh, that's awesome.
With Absinthe, so like as a GraphQL API. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Nice.
that was everything I did before starting with Ash. Yeah.
Okay. And then what got you starting to contribute and actually really dive into Ash?
Yeah, I always liked the idea of open source, and I did like a couple of contributions before that also in my other jobs. And I always just kind of liked solving the problem upstream. So when we had a problem, and we were very active on the Discord at the time, we sometimes called like Zach our fourth official employee, unofficial employee at the time, because he was just helping us so much on the Discord. And we kind of wanted to give a little back. And then like every time we had a problem, we tried to at least like do a reproduction and push it up to Ash, or go and try and fix it ourselves. And yeah, that just started to be like more and more. And we were a bit of like early adopters, so there was still a lot of stuff to fix at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was like 3 years ago, you were saying?
Yeah, that was
okay.
2022. Yeah.
Hey, sorry to change the subject. Can I have you kind of like shift a little more center on your camera? Yeah, you're getting a little cut off because I kind of have to crop in tight. There you go. That's perfect.
Very good.
Yeah, my first experience with Ash, I kind of like wrote it off because I was a little frustrated because it was harder for me to figure out the Ash way of doing things. And I was like, I could just do this, with Phoenix and Elixir so much quicker. And then I started to talk to Zach more, and like he's great because he's just on top of things and helped me a lot. But then like once the beta version of the book came out, I feel like it kind of unlocked my like initial, I don't know, I just needed that like little hump over the learning curve to like kind of figure out how the DSL operates and works. And then once I had that, I saw the light, and I really enjoy working with it now.
Yeah, I can totally see that if you did like Elixir like before, like usually with the context and everything, and also the documentation of other packages really good. And like with the code, you can just go and read it, and it maybe makes more sense to you. But yeah, I like before I spent a lot of time with like doing Spring in university and annotations and stuff, and it was all magic. And I spent so many hours like stepping through the debugger and figuring out what things were doing, and also Java docs. Like, and compared to that, even like at pre 2.0 Ash documentation was really good.
Well, like I will say, like with like resources and actions in Ash, I feel like all the CRUD operations and like not having a context file feels kind of magical.
Yeah. Also coming from like the other OO frameworks, where every time you had to expose something in the API, you needed to at least change 3 classes. Just adding one line to one file is
Yeah,
really
yeah.
freeing. Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious, what is like the biggest part? Like I feel like Ash, like the umbrella project of the
hmm
Ash framework, like there's so much stuff going on. There are so many. Sorry, my coffee machine is making noise, but it'll stop shortly. I feel like there's just so many repositories all bundled into Ash, and there's a lot going on. But what was kind of like your biggest contribution that was your
As
first
a
biggest contribution that you kind of
yeah.
worked on?
So the first thing that we like open sourced was the extension that we made, which is Ash RBAC, which is essentially just another way to write like role-based policies, because like policies can also trip people up a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a pretty role-based system, and so for us it just made sense to write another DSL that made like specifying our rules very easy, and then that would just go and under the hood transform them into regular Ash policies. And yeah, it took us a couple of like tries to get it right, to make it really composable with the other things. And in the end, we landed on just having all of the conditions in. So in the policy block, you have the condition at the top, right, from the block, and then you have your authorized rules inside of the block. And we
Mm-hmm.
just put all of the rules in the top condition. So it would only apply in that very specific case. And then inside it would just be authorized if always. And that made it so you could add other policy blocks. And if they should decide, then the one that we put in would never apply because the condition was just too specific. Um, so that was like the thing that I did at my company. And then the other thing is probably the GraphQL subscriptions. Yeah,
Oh, nice. Okay.
that I added. Yeah.
Yeah, the role based stuff. So I'm probably using it, right? Because I'm using multi tenancy context, and I check for roles and things, and that's really cool. It's so nice. It works very great. It's a lot better than writing plugs for everything.
Yeah. Yeah. It's also like, it's nice that it's like on the resource, because then like there, like in whichever way you expose it, the rules, it's always the same rules that apply. That's
Hmm.
kind of like also feel like one of the magic things in Ash is just that you have this like central place where everything is defined, and then no matter where you come from, everything just works the same way all the time.
Yeah, it was
Otherwise, you would
hard.
probably, yeah.
It was hard for me to do the multi-tenancy at the like the context level at first,
hmm
and then once you kind of figure out how everything operates and works on the resources, it's really nice.
Yeah. Yeah. It just gives you so much for free.
Yeah, it does. It's I feel like I'm cheating because you get like accomplish stuff a little too easily, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. Like, and another thing is, when we come back to the topic of like making decisions, it's very freeing to not like decide in which file or whatever you want to put something, or like a utility, because you have like like it's either like a change or a validation, or it's like the resource. It's like, yeah, I also
Yeah,
feel like that helps with like the AI coding stuff, because the constraints are a bit like more defined, and so it's easier for the LLM to put it in the right place.
let's see, we need an Ash store so we can have low code business logic layering composing of multiple plugin extensions. I'm gonna have to reread that. That's like we need Ash store so we can
Yeah,
have
yeah,
low code. Oh yeah, kind of like a skeleton or template project or something like that.
yeah, like, or like a WooCommerce for Ash,
Yeah,
if you come
yeah.
from the WordPress world.
Oh, that could be kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, you're
I
building
kind of
Stripe integration into your app, right?
I am, and I actually Mike Hostetler was like, "You could make this a template," and I was like, "Yeah, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
would be good." I kind of like I question the usefulness of having a product that you like is selling templates and things now with how easy it is to
Yeah, just generate stuff.
to generate stuff with
Yeah.
LLMs now, you know? Like I don't know, like because like I'm not a front end developer. I'm a back end developer. So I leverage LLMs a lot with my UI design. And like I tweak it till I like it, but I can't take a lot of credit for my front end work.
Yeah. I get that,
But
and I also use the AI because I'm also shit at designing.
yeah,
I can like
exactly.
take a design and like put it into a website, but like coming up with how stuff should
Yeah.
look, that's really hard. Yeah.
I'm really good at looking at something and being like, yeah, that looks pretty good, but I'm not good at
hmm
getting there.
Yeah.
Like the task manager, the little Kanban board that I'm building
Yeah.
with Ash right now, I think it looks really good, but I can't take a lot of the credit of the design. So
Yeah. I mean, at some point, I feel like you can see that everything is like kind of tailwind and AI generated for like a lot of stuff that you see on the internet nowadays. Like Tailwind has like a kind of specific look, but
yeah.
yeah, I mean, in the end, it's not really bad. It looks good and it works. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I love the Daisy UI stuff being kind of integrated too, right into Phoenix now.
hmm
So it just makes like light and dark mode theming so much easier. You kind of get it right out of the box. And I love that because it was one thing I was always lazy at. I was like,
Yeah.
I'll just make a dark theme by default and then all my projects stay that way, right? But I feel like it's nice because you have those psychopaths out there that like light mode for whatever reason.
Yeah. I actually use light mode in my browser, but it's the
Oh
only
my
app that I use
gosh,
light mode
you're
in.
one of those. I was just making fun of. It's
Yeah,
like I
no
feel
hard
like it's
feelings.
rare to find a developer that likes light mode, and so when I do,
Yeah.
I like to give them shit for it.
Yeah, I don't know why it's I have all of my other apps in dark mode. I'm just used to being like I'm maybe it's just because like a lot of websites still don't have a good dark mode, and if you use like one of those
Yeah.
apps, it looks funny sometimes. So
Oh,
yeah,
I
yeah,
do use the extension, but yeah, on a lot of websites it looks like garbage.
yeah. So
And when you're
yeah,
building stuff, it'll sometimes screw up what you're working on and you're like, "Why
yeah,
is
yeah,
this CSS not working?" And then you're like, "Oh, it's this stupid extension."
yeah. So that's pretty much the reason why I just don't bother with it at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. It drives me nuts though, like when you're on like 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 Google Cloud or like AWS and they don't have the option and you're just like
hmm
blinded instantly. And you're like,
Yeah,
no.
I use a drop down terminal and like everything is dark and it's like full screen, and sometimes at night I'm hacking my terminal and then I put the terminal up and it's exactly that feeling. It's just
Yeah, and then
blanking.
you're just like white. You're like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Or like I'll read
Yeah.
a lot of books and just like PDFs in like preview
hmm
too. So it's just white and you're like, ah.
Yeah. No. Dark mode is pretty great. And like the Daisy I mean I'm pretty happy with live view overall, but I still feel like sometimes it has its rough edges. Like with the whole Phoenix update ignore stuff that trips me up sometimes. Where at some point it feels like the state like you don't really have that one source of truth anymore, because it's like
Hmm.
some part is rendered with like a JavaScript hook, some part is rendered, and then you do like a validation and everything just goes back to the start. But yeah, and also like the whole process model, I think for like a newcomer coming in, it's like a lot. It's not really obvious from the start how everything like fits together. But yeah, it's nice not to have to think about the API level and just have your data at your fingertips.
It is nice. And that was hard for me too. I like honestly starting with Ash for writing Elixir, I think would be easier than starting with Elixir and then moving to Ash because you just I don't know. But because like I like having the structure to projects that like Ash brings in,
hmm
right? Like you were saying, because you just like you have your resources, you have your domains, and then you have your policies and actions, and that's pretty much all you have.
Yeah. Yeah, like we had one person that only did front end, and he can go in and read the resource and pretty much understand what's going on, right? Just from reading the DSL. And
Yeah,
like
that's
reading is a
nice.
lot easier than writing because it's already there and like it's understandable. You don't have to think of those specific keywords. But yeah, if you have like a front end guy that doesn't know Elixir, adding an attribute to like a thing and exposing it over an API, that's definitely a thing that they can do without like really touching Elixir. So that's
Yeah. I will
Right.
say, like, generating migration files and all of that, and not having to go in to tweak relationships and stuff is a game changer. Because I feel like when you're just using Ecto, you don't have it's not as streamlined.
Yeah, you have to write everything by hand, right? And the
Yeah.
the whole I never really got the whole cast ASOC and put ASOC stuff. To be
Yeah.
honest, like I don't know, I jumped into Ash too quickly to really get that from just doing the other small things on the side. I just remember that tripping me up all the time. And
Yeah,
yeah, in
nice.
Ash Ash, like there is still like managed relationship is one of those topics that comes off quite often because it just has so many options and people don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah,
I feel like I'm
which one
just
to choose.
scraping the surface with the relationship stuff too.
Yeah,
I'm because I would say like the course that I'm planning, it hits like a lot of really good Ash fundamentals. And
hmm
then as complicated as we get is probably the multi-tenancy layer, right? And then but I think it's a really good project for people just learning. And then just
yeah,
to be able to integrate, Stripe webhooks and things and make a product, I feel like is something that everyone wants to see because everyone wants to build some sort of SaaS project.
yeah, yeah. It looks like a pretty like full featured thing. So I
Yeah, it's
guess you
fun. And then I
yeah
have
you need
people in
to
the
use most
comments
of the
being
things.
like, this would be really cool if you added chat. And I was like, guys, relax. Like, you'll know enough to add chat. But, like, if I just
Yeah.
kept adding features, this is going to be a year-long playlist.
Yeah, I mean you have the whole PubSub stuff in there, right? With like pushing the tickets in the swim lanes.
Yeah, because we can
Yeah.
click and drag. We have real-time implementation with like creating
hmm
comments, task status update.
Yeah.
So we have PubSub. So all you'd have
Yeah.
to do
Yeah.
is add another layer for chat, and you're good. Like you'll know how to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. All the prerequisites are there for sure.
But I also feel like didn't Zach do like a Slack clone or something similar in one of his live
I
streams in the
think
past?
that was one of Chris's talks, right? Where he did a Slack clone in the
Yeah,
background.
it might have been. So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
guys, go watch that, pull it into this project, and you're good.
Yeah. And you can also like Ash AI has a generator that puts in a chat that's more like a chat with the AI, but then you have already the chat interface and you can just reuse it for
that
your
was
chat
that was
interaction.
really cool. Because Zach and I did a live stream, and he like
hmm
walked me through. It was painful for me because I was just like all thumbs, but it went pretty well.
Yeah.
But yeah, the chat AI was pretty cool, and then we made like a Discord bot that just like roasted people if they weren't funny. So it was a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Which I think like okay, you mentioned you're doing some sort of Discord integration with Ash, right?
Yeah, so I'm building my own Discord bot at the moment, and I started having everything like just in one project, and I now extracted all of the code that is like more generic and how you can define comments and stuff. I migrated out to its own project, and I'm currently working on adding, like I already have the installer for it, and now I'm working on generators for the different resources that you have in Discord, so you can just put them in and get them like saved to the database if you want that. And
So is it just like sorry, excuse me. Is it going to be it's a Discord bot that is implemented through Ash like just
so it follows the same approach as like other Ash libraries out there. We took
okay.
like I took Nostrum as like the base layer because
Okay.
it's like pretty much I don't know. Have you used it for the bot that you did with Sec as well?
Um I think
Yeah.
we directly set we
All right.
let AI kind of do the
Figure it
integration
out.
and it
Yeah.
worked. So
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just taking that one, and then I added, like I'm wrapping that consumer and putting a bit of logic on top of that, so it then can, when command interactions come in, and you have a DSL that you can put in your domain, kind of like the one with AshI, where it is like tools, and then you define tools that direct to actions, and you can do the same like with a command, and the command has a name and it points to an Ash action, and then when the interaction event comes in from Discord, it just calls that action with the data from Discord and
Oh, nice.
automatically
That'll be
then
cool.
responds to it. Yeah. And that's like the one thing. And then the other thing is just having the whole handling and the persisting of the other events that come in. And you
Okay.
don't have to use that. Like if you just want to have like something simple, you can just use the commands and don't generate the resources.
Nice.
But yeah.
When is it already public or not quite yet?
I can put the repository to public after the thing.
All right,
But
nice.
it's not yet published on Hex or anything. I just need I mostly did all of the extraction in at Mæer. I just had code running all the time while I
Oh,
was
nice.
doing
That
other
just
stuff at the conference. Yeah,
I heard that was a really good conference.
yeah. Mæer was I would say probably like the best like conference that I've ever been to, and like
Oh, wow. That's
yeah.
awesome.
And I already thought that at the beginning of the year when we went to Alchemy Conf in Braga, which was also really great. And it's just I just kind of like these like smaller conferences.
It's
Like the
cool. Like you
one-track
feel a
ones.
little
Yeah.
like more intimate. You meet everyone too. And then just like the single track conference, I think is a really cool idea too.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
like they were both in a theater, and like Alchemy Conf had this really cool intro that they made with like live music and like I don't know, was it like a school band or whatever that they had on stage for the intro and did like
Oh, that's cool.
really cool AI inspired stuff. It was really amazing, and just the vibe was
Nice.
really great. And yeah, but Mæer as well. They had like a couple of really great talks, very creative, very entertaining. Like I don't know, people probably already heard about Sasha Yurch's talk. Tell me a story. Nobody got to see it yet. If you
Okay.
haven't been to one of the 3 conferences that he was this year, but now that he did it for the last time this year, we might get like to see the first version from Alchemy Conf pretty soon.
Oh,
And
that would be cool. I would
yeah,
like to see
yeah,
that.
everybody should watch that. Yeah.
I'm gonna just put us on hold for 18 seconds and then we'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Kimberly with Elixir Mentor. Jacob recently added recruitment services to help companies hire pre-vetted Elixir devs. I help with company outreach, so if you're hiring, I may be reaching out, or you can connect with us anytime at elixirmentor.com.
No, that's really cool. So we're back. I wish I'm so bummed. I planned a vacation over ElixirConf in Orlando too, so I didn't get to that one either. So I have to be better. I'm thinking about going to there's a single track conference in Austin, Texas. I think in like
the Hex.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about going to that one. I think that one might be a lot of fun. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm definitely like I'm going to CodeBeam again in November, which is in Berlin.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's also
Berlin
really
would be
cool
a fun
because
trip.
yeah, it's a pretty cool city.
Yeah, I've been to Berlin for 8 hours once, and
okay, just the layover.
I was like, yeah, a layover, and I want to go back because I like I basically had like I found like a taxi cab driver, and he was really cool. I just like paid him to drive me around, and he took me to just like some really good.
Yeah.
He took me to some really good restaurants and stuff, and I just like went nuts for like 8 hours, and then had to get back and catch a flight. So one day I need to just do a vacation there and spend more time there.
Yeah, that's always the first thing I do as well. Like when I go somewhere, either like a cab or an Uber or whatever, because like they mostly know the good spots in the city.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it was just me. I don't remember why I was there, but it was just me, and yeah, I had this driver, and so he was like eating meals with me and stuff. It was fun.
That's cool. Yeah, definitely something to remember then.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for me, it was also cool. Like I got to meet James and Rebecca for the first time in person, which are like both coworkers of mine. Yeah. And then in November, I get to meet another coworker of mine in person, which is Mike. He's also gonna give a talk at CodeBeam. So it's really cool. Like in such a remote company as Alembic, you don't really see people like we do, or they did like adventure days, like shortly before I came on. So I didn't get the chance to do that yet, where they bring everyone to Australia for a couple of days.
Oh,
So I'm
that's
also looking
cool.
forward to that. Yeah,
Are they?
I've
They're
never
based
been.
out of Australia?
Yeah, there's an office in Sydney. Yeah, but most of
Okay,
the people
nice.
are somewhat remote. Yeah,
Okay, cool. Yeah, I
yeah, we
have a
also.
my sister lives in Australia, so
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
I've
used
never
to
been.
that time
Yeah,
zone, you know?
yeah, it's pretty hard. Right now it's I'm doing more regular hours at the moment. When I started, I did like half of my day was like like during the middle of the night, uh, which I didn't really mind. I'm a night owl anyway, so worked out quite well. But
You
yeah,
get, I mean, I usually work during the day now too, but there is something peaceful about coding at night. Like no
yeah,
distractions, it's quiet, and you just get a lot done, you know?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, but it's an exciting time right now. We are expanding a bit into Europe, and now I have already like one European co-worker, and I'm getting another one
Oh,
pretty soon.
nice.
So that's exciting as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Very cool. Do you use Ash for all your projects, or does it just depend on the client?
Um, like most of the projects are Ash based if we do anything with Elixir, but we've also done like just the regular TypeScript, GraphQL, React stuff
Okay.
if the client wants it. Yeah. But
Okay.
yeah, and I did something just with Broadway, like beginning of the year, which was pretty cool because first time I got to use Broadway.
Oh,
Um,
nice. Yeah, Broadway's pretty cool.
yeah, yeah. But it called into Ash actions, but there was not a lot of Ash code involved.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah.
Nice. I have to play with the GraphQL Ash stuff. I haven't really gotten into that one. But I do like I use Absinthe like, you know, on a daily basis. So
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see how nice it is.
It's really nice if you don't have to write your apps in types by hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
How does is
yeah,
it just you just kind of like turn on the graph layer
yeah.
with
You just
Ash? Is
have
that
your I don't know that you have that one module where you do like the schema module for Absinthe, and then you just put
yeah,
in use Ash GraphQL and put in the
that's awesome.
domains, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
so
then
nice.
yeah, it's just going through all the domains and all the resources because it has all the type information. You can't just build like the blueprint that Absinthe wants, and then yeah, you just have to don't have to do anything.
Nice.
And
Yeah, that is the one thing I feel like there's just so much repetition when you're using Absinthe because like
hmm
you have your ecto schemas and then you have your types and you're just basically,
yeah,
you know, copying and pasting, right?
yeah. You have to like specify like the filters, like all the arguments, everything you have to specify behind like all the time, right? In Absinthe. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I often think about all the code I didn't have to write in those 2 years where I built the backend. Yeah.
It's nice. Like I built like the project that I'm building, my little task manager. I built it really fast. When you don't have to
Mhm.
explain and teach what you're building, it's pretty
Yeah, yeah,
impressive how fast you can move, you know?
yeah. And you can do so much with just like that's also like just an Elixir superpower. But I feel like if you just do Phoenix and like whatever Ash and then have like Oban for like your background stuff, you can just go so
Hmm.
far with just those two
Yeah,
tools. Yeah,
Oban is really nice too.
yeah.
Just for like when you don't have to manually write a gen server and like because you don't get like retries and like all the
hmm
stability out of the box when you're writing your own scheduled workers. And yeah, Oban
Yeah.
just it works so nice. We have a
And
lot of really awesome projects out
yeah,
there to make our lives easy.
yeah. And like the combination of what I really like to use is the combination of Ash State Machine and Ash Oban together to have like this one resource where you like you could say you have two job resources, like the one job that is Oban and then the other one that is your state machine, and then you can have like different states and just have Ash Oban trigger on those states and do different things depending on which state it's in, which is really powerful. And you get like all the retriability and like rollback, and like I did that with my Discord bot for image generation, where the generation is one step and then the responding is one step, and then the cleanup is another step. And then with the you can specify the retries. You can also specify an on error
Okay.
handler, and then depending like if the step is successful, it just puts it into the next successful state. But if it's on error, it just puts in another state so the cleanup can run even if like the
Okay.
responding didn't work.
How does Ash State Machine work? See, like I just discover new things all the time under the Ash
Yeah.
ecosystem. Like I didn't even know this was a thing, and now I'm looking at the docs.
Yeah. So at the moment, it's like it's pretty simple. It's just you can define all your like valid state transitions, and
Okay.
and then you get like a change to transition the state in like different actions, and it will
Oh,
then check if
yeah.
you are in if the state is like if the transition is like valid, and otherwise it will just throw an error.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and because you like with Ash Oban, you can just put it on there and then have like a var expression on the job. You can just match on the state and then trigger different actions through Ash Oban and get all of
Oh,
the
dude,
nice
this is
features that we
so
have there.
nice.
Yeah.
Now I want to add this to my task
Yeah.
manager project. And
Yeah.
see, here goes. Now I have feature creep.
Yeah. Yeah. Like we did like that. That's also one thing that wasn't available at the time. I built the backend back then, and we had it was a booking platform for hotels. And like all of the like I pretty much modeled the same thing, but just with like normal Ash, not Ash, Oban jobs for the whole booking process. So like creating like with the Stripe has this to commit process, right? So
Mhm.
we did like the first thing to reserve like the payment, and we went out in another Oban job and did the booking with the other provider. And if that worked, we then really like cut the funds from your Stripe thing, and then in another Oban job did all of the generating all of the necessary documents in the system, and that worked really well. And if I had Ash State Machine and Ash Oban at the time, it would be even less code than I had right back then.
I know, this is
Yeah,
nice. Like I
yeah.
could use this for my subscriptions and
Hmm.
honestly even the task management.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Ah, dang it. I'm going to be
Yeah, you can do
rewriting
like a
my whole
version 2.
tutorial this afternoon.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah,
I
there's
am
just so much
excited
out there
though.
at this point.
I think I want to wait on your Discord project because I've been kind of batting around the idea, and I'm gonna try to get Mike Hostetler to help me with this because I need his wizardry.
Hmm.
But I kind of want to. I think it'd be really cool to create a Elixir Mentor Discord bot where I have
Hmm.
like my own Elixir Mentor LLM that I feed all the
Yeah,
transcripts to all the videos and interviews I've ever done, and then
yeah,
people can ask it questions and it can answer
yeah.
them.
Yeah, that's also like one of the ideas we have for the Ash Discord, because we have all of the questions there and we
Oh,
can just
yeah,
ingest
that's
it
a good
into some kind
idea.
of
Yeah.
system, right? Yeah. So yeah, that's like one of the things that's on the back burner.
Oh,
the,
nice.
the,
So
the
maybe we'll have to consolidate our efforts and make some sort
yeah,
of like Ash insert
get,
for creating your own personal LLM system or
yeah,
something. I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah. But we'll see. I mean, I already did something with Ash AI in my bot, which worked pretty well. So what I did, like, because we sometimes have like this conversation happen in channels where things don't get mirrored out to the website. Like we want to have all the support questions in this specific Discord forum
Hmm.
stuff, so it can then get like indexed by Google. And I made this command where you can like mark like the first message and the last message. And then because it's kind of hard to figure out if there are like messages in between that like don't belong into this thread, I just give all of the messages to the LLM and let it decide which
Oh,
ones are
that's
part of the
cool.
conversation. And then I can just take the messages that are part of the conversation, move them to a different channel, and leaving all the other stuff in place. Yeah.
I like
So
that too. That would be helpful in my Discord for every time we answer questions.
yeah.
That's a really good idea. I'm gonna have to look at your project and see if I can help build it.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that stuff is currently not in like in the repository that has all like the generic stuff, but we can
Okay.
definitely talk about the other thing as well. Yeah,
Yeah, that would be
because
cool.
yeah, and I
Yeah, because
also
I
like yeah, I
so
have
many
to talk to
communities probably
Mike
have
at
the
some
same
point. Yeah,
issues, you know? Dang,
yeah.
I got a fly in here.
I haven't had time to try out all the Cheeto stuff, which really looks very interesting as well. And he has
Yeah,
also some kind of Ash bindings as well. I think I saw some
I
kind of
think
Ash
so.
built in.
Yeah, dude. Mike is a busy dude. I think
Yeah, yeah.
he did something with Ash, and he's been going pretty crazy with releases on Jito.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I feel like I don't have time to know anything about the AI world, and I'm just like always like trying to figure it out.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it's a race, or no, it's a marathon. I've been sprinting like the whole year, just
Yeah, it's nuts.
trying.
And
Yeah.
like what's cool is Elixir, with Jose and Chris McCord. I feel like, and like Ash and Zach, and you guys are all so on top of it, and I feel like AI is very integrated into the Elixir ecosystem already, and it's
Yeah.
pretty cool. It's awesome.
I don't know where I heard it. Was it on the? I think the Elixir, was it the Elixir Thinking podcast that mentioned that benchmark thing that came out that had like Elixir at the top for LLMs,
Oh, I
which
saw
was
that.
interesting.
Was it on
Yeah,
Thinking Elixir? I saw
I think so. Yeah.
I saw Jose's tweet of it where,
Hmm.
yeah, Elixir's like the best language for having LLMs write code,
Yeah. Yeah, I
which is
think like functional programming's like in general is probably like easier because like there's just certain things of problems that you can like avoid with immutable
transformation makes
stuff.
so much
And
more
yeah,
sense than like
yeah.
mutability because I wish I knew what functional and immutability was before I started programming because object oriented was so difficult for me to wrap my head around
Mm-hmm.
because like my brain just didn't work that way and I struggled for years. I feel like until Swift was the first time that like helped
Hmm.
me like wrap my head around it. I don't know why, something about the syntax, it just helped me become the programmer I am today because I started with iOS development, but Objective C was very hard for me to grasp until I learned Swift, and then I could go back and understand Objective C. It was,
Yeah.
I don't know, it was a weird learning curve for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, with OO, it often feels like you have to have the whole system in your head to really reason about what's
Yeah.
happening.
Well, and I
And in
hate the
function, yeah,
concept of state with object oriented stuff, right? Like you have singleton pattern and you just have like all
yeah,
these really bad patterns and bad practices. And I feel like it introduces the opportunity to just corrupt your data, have weird race conditions, and just like
yeah.
screw things up, you know?
The best OO code is pretty functional in my
Right. Yeah.
in my
Like
experience. Like, yeah,
write your OO code like it's functional and
yeah,
you'll
yeah,
probably save yourself a lot of headaches.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I always wish that I learned a functional language before I learned anything else. But if I did, I probably wouldn't have wanted to learn any
Mm,
object-oriented
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. But you can't really like it's really hard to do like a school or anything like software based that it's not OO.
That's
It's
true.
yeah,
I was stuck
yeah,
learning Java in school and I hated
yeah,
it.
yeah. Yeah, Java is like really hard to get into. Like you can get it to a point like with the whole IDs and it, but it just takes so much setup to get it to a point where it's pretty fun to work with. But yeah, if you do like Lombok and stuff, and then you can generate all your getters and setters, so you don't have to think about that kind of stuff. And then like the auto mapper tools and whatever. Yeah, but yeah, once you're like deep into it, it kind of is fun. But yeah, it's just the
Yeah,
hardcore
I never
thing.
really
So
thought about that. I guess like I always felt like the setup of things was so manual, like with the getters and
yeah,
setters, and it just took you a lot of time to get a project in a good place.
yeah. Yeah, and I don't know if the magic that I used for those projects was pretty nice, but maybe on a larger scale it has its downsides as well. Uh, but it was
I
was
never
only a
wrote
school
anything
project,
large
so
in Java. It was always just like
yeah,
pet projects, so I don't know.
yeah. For me, it's like it was the school project, so not nothing very big. Yeah.
Yeah, I went back to school. I was a civil engineer, and then I went back. I was going to get my master's in software engineering, and I dropped out because it was all Java, and I was like,
Mm,
eh. And
yeah,
then I
yeah,
just taught myself how to code.
yeah. I mean, like to be honest, after going to university, I felt like I could have learned more if I just spent those 3 years working.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's
but
like
like,
good you learn good computer science
Yeah.
stuff, right? And you learn like the good like fundamentals, but you
Yeah,
don't really
exactly.
learn real world stuff till you're on a
Yeah.
team.
Yeah. It took me a couple of years, and like I also like now I would say like I appreciate like the first 3 semesters the most because those were just like all the basic stuff and just getting a
Hmm.
better understanding on how computers work and like or maybe like HTTP and like all the under the hood stuff. That's like way more valuable than doing like the whole Java thing because
Yeah,
that's
I
just very
agree. And I think like when you're a self-taught programmer, you jump a lot of steps and then you're forced to kind of go back and relearn a lot of
hmm
basics
hmm
because you kind of have to understand how like the HTTP protocols work and TCP, UDP, at least like, not on a deep level, but you have to kind of understand how it's working just to
Yeah,
build
makes
a
debugging also a lot easier, like if you
yeah.
understand a bit deeper how things work. Yeah.
And then like algorithms and like just sorting and writing performant queries.
Yeah.
You have a lot of like relearning when you're self-taught, and you kind of miss some of that when you don't have like the fundamentals taught to you
Yeah.
on like a
Yeah.
a track that like university would do.
Yeah. Totally.
But I don't know. The School of Hard Knocks is a pretty good way to learn how to program too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm also curious how things are changing now. I mean, I couldn't imagine being a junior or like just getting into tech like today must feel so different from like I don't know
It's
like 15 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't think I'd
Yeah, like
want to be learning right now, but because I feel like you're gonna just rely on LLMs so much. Do you
yeah.
graze past the deeper learning, or do you have just a different learning curve? I don't know.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, and I also like the whole Discord bot experience was pretty much vibe coded to be honest, and like I learned a bunch of stuff about Discord, but if I wrote it all myself, I would have just know so much more at this point. But
Yeah,
I probably also wouldn't be at this point, right?
it
So
slows you down. Well, like
yeah,
it's weird, right? I don't know how it sounds like you probably integrate LLMs into your workflow quite a bit, and I do too. But I feel like, yeah, you're kind of in a weird state where you're just reviewing a lot of code now versus
hmm
writing
hmm
code. I'm like, am I going to forget how to use my keyboard? Am I going to like not know how to write just simple functions because I'm just reading it now? Like, you kind of lose that muscle memory of writing
yeah.
code.
I, it also feels like I'm always just scratching the surface of the things I'm doing, like looking at the LLM stuff, because yeah, I can kind of see if it's good code or not, but I don't really know the details behind a lot of
Yeah.
what's happening. Um, and it's pretty annoying to build up all of the context you need to review the stuff like after the fact. It felt way
Yeah.
more natural like when you did it like over the course of like finishing whatever feature you were working on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I started a lot of stuff that I wouldn't have started with LLMs.
Yeah, same. Well, like what I try to do too is I'll always like create a plan in like a
hmm
markdown file that like I can check off progress, and then I always just make sure I do small like feature base
hmm hmm
changes, and then I just feel like it's a lot easier to do like the code review instead of like looking at 20
Yeah,
file
yeah,
changes.
yeah. I've recently like made mine into like a 3-part process. Like I have now a research command, a plan command, and a breakdown command. And
Nice, yeah.
the research command just goes and looks through the code base and finds all the places that are relevant for the new feature, and also goes and finds links to like specific documentation. And then another one that takes all of the research and then makes an actual plan out of it. And then another one that takes the plan and then makes a really like a numbered list of steps with sub steps. And every step also has like then the command to like commit after it. So it's like a
Oh,
lot
that's
of really small
cool.
commits. And that seems to work quite well at the moment.
And those are all like sub agents, I'm guessing.
Um, not all of them. So I tried like I'm mostly using Claude Code nowadays.
Yeah, same
Sorry, I have to
here.
check. My dog is doing some weird
Oh,
shit
you're
right now.
fine.
Oh, good. He's just eating. um, so the first thing I tried, I wanted to like have the main thread or whatever just orchestrate a bunch of different agents to do the actual work. But that has a bit of a problem with the. I think I'm in the middle now. That has a lot of problem with the UX in Cloud because when the sub agent asks for permissions, you have the options to like yes, and also in the future and no, do something different. And if you do no, then that thing is not really transported to the sub agent. That's like something in the main thread, and then the main thread restarts the sub agent. That doesn't really work that well. So what I changed it to now is like the main agent is doing like all of the work, but for everything that it should do like research on or look for like patterns in the code base, I have different agents. And that way it just doesn't get all of the context polluted by all the things it did by searching stuff, because it just can ask the sub agent, it can go through all the stuff and can only like surface the relevant files, code snippet to the main agent. That just helps keeping the main context a bit smaller.
Yeah,
and I don't know, like, yeah.
Oh no, go ahead, finish. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just that like even now that models can support a lot bigger context, I'm not sure if it's always helpful just to put more stuff in it.
Like with my experiences, the smaller you can keep your context, the better, right? I feel like it just works better. Otherwise, I feel like you randomly get hallucinations from like previous parts of your conversation. And it like brings in, like if you try to do like a second feature in the same context window, I feel like it screws things up and it like mixes things together and it turns to trash fast.
yeah, that's exactly why I use the sub agents now to like find all of the stuff.
So I started like I kind of have this, like I'm doing recruiting stuff on the side where I'm doing pre-vetted, like where developers are basically submitting projects to me, and then when companies are looking for talent, I already say, look, this guy's capable of what you need to hire. But like and I apologize if you guys are listening and you haven't heard from me, because I've been so like piled on with all these projects I have to review. I started playing around with sub agents to do like initial reviews, so at least like I can just get them out of my way if they're complete garbage, right? So they don't waste my time. So I'm doing all these initial reviews now with sub agents where it's going through, like I have a couple sub agents. I have like one sub agent that reviews the project, and then I have another sub agent that verifies its findings with hex documentation. And then I have another one that will write up reports. And so I'm trying to like iron this out so my initial review's good, and then like I know if it's worth my time to do a manual review. And like, so I'm messing with all this stuff, but it's like it's kind of crazy because you're kind of just like tweaking prompts, right? So it's like really it's hard to know how to dial it in just right. And I have a pretty good system, but there are still some like random weird hallucinations in there, but it's getting there. It's getting there.
Yeah, I also have a review command, and I have like 6 sub agents, and then the nice thing is it can start in parallel, right? So it just reviews like all 6 agent review in parallel and just give me. But yeah, I don't know, like I feel like it tends to over engineer stuff.
Yes, it definitely will overcomplicate and be like, we can do this a lot easier.
Yeah, and then also like on the security side, it always finds like, or thinks it finds stuff where it isn't. Like it doesn't really know about what Phoenix is already doing, like input stuff wise, or what Ash is like validating under the hood. So it's just pointing.
I just had Michael Lubis on from Paraxial, and he was talking about that. It's like if you ask it to find security flaws, it like automatic, like it will find them whether it's right or wrong. So it just hallucinates and makes things up.
Yeah, and that's kind of annoying, but I don't know, like like you said, that's pretty hard to like dial in correctly.
But so to go back to being a new programmer, not knowing when it's wrong, that's the hard part, right? Like if you didn't know, like if you don't have a good sense of code smell, it would be really hard to be like, no, this isn't right. And you would just like be like, oh, that is a security flaw. We should listen to it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, they just get overwhelmed with a lot of information by the LLMs probably, and then they don't know how to fit. That's kind of like the same skill, like Googling stuff is also like filtering a lot of information down to what is like really relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just today, I didn't know if pagination was possible on Scilla DB, because I'm just not that familiar with Scilla. And first of all, LLMs didn't help me, especially like when you're using Elixir packages and things. And then I found a random Elixir forum article that like you can do basic pagination, but you can't do like offset pagination. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I kind of feel bad for new developers because I feel like it's just a layer of complexity added to into the day.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's hard. We don't have a lot of junior people at the moment, so it's also hard to like. Yeah, haven't talked to anyone with the experience, so it's just guessing.
Yeah. Well, and I feel bad for juniors because I feel like the hiring there are like it everyone wants seniors, but then like some companies I've talked to now, they either want seniors or juniors and not the middle level, which is an interesting situation too because they figure if they hire a junior, at least they can train them the way they want to train them and they don't come with bad habits. But then they want a senior if they want to bring someone on that can like help them, fix architecture or, at least get up to speed faster. I don't know. Weird times.
Yeah, I mean, job market is all over the place at the moment anyway, right?
It is. Yeah. Yes. And then like so many like large companies are doing massive layoffs and that kind of sucks, but
yeah, I mean, some of that is probably still like from just everyone being inside in Corona and people doing more stuff on the internet and whatever.
yeah.
And and now, but it's also like with the AI. But I think like the AI, like all in all, I don't think it makes me that much more productive.
I was just thinking about I think in a lot of cases it might slow you down or kind of keep you flatlined, like whether like if you're manually writing code or having
yeah. I think you don't really get like you don't really get better at your craft just doing the LLM stuff all day.
Yeah.
Like you
One
might get better
thing
at prompting, but I don't know, maybe you getting better at prompting isn't that important if the LLM just get better. Like
yeah, I am
so
better
maybe it's
at
not
having test
like
coverage with LLMs.
yeah, that's true. I write more tests now than I did
Because
before.
I hate writing tests, but you need to have them, right? And so it's kind of nice to write a feature and then have Claude just write your tests for it.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be careful. I've seen a lot of shitty Claude tests that do like things that
you definitely have to watch it, right? Because like I've watched it break code just to make a test pass. You're like, what are you doing, dude? Come on. We can't just return an empty, or we can't just look for an empty list because the function's not working properly. Yeah.
I know. Funny stuff.
So is there any like cool new features on Ash's radar that you're currently working on?
Yeah, I don't know. Like we also had the Ash Summit at Mæer, like the last half day after the conference.
Did you talk at Mæer?
No, I was just there meeting people this time.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a training at the Codebeam Berlin though, if anyone's interested in learning.
Oh,
Ash
nice. That'll be cool.
And so one thing that was pretty hype is Ash TypeScript. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
I have. I saw. I think Zach tweeted it. I haven't looked much into it, so yeah, tell us about it.
So that's pretty much like the biggest new thing that came out of the Ash Summit, and that's you can now specify RPC calls to specific action, and then it will just generate the necessary TypeScript to call that over like fetch. It uses just fetch under the hood, and but he also released today, I think, the ability to do it over channels. So like real-time stuff is coming as well. And it just generates all of the TypeScript types. So you get types for all of the things that you call inside of your TypeScript. So if you do like React, you don't have to set up the whole.
Oh,
Like you
that's
can get there
awesome.
with with GraphQL, you can get there or with or the JSON API spec, you can generate all of that yourself. But so it's just a line in your Ash code, and you get the JavaScript for free.
That's awesome. Very cool. Look at this. All these magic box features.
Yeah, and it's so nice because all of the information is already there, right? We know all the types, so why not just generate the TypeScript? Nobody's gonna read the TypeScript anyway. Like,
No,
I-
no, no, we're
the
not. I don't miss.
TypeScript, yeah.
I don't miss writing JavaScript or TypeScript code. I do not. But
Sometimes the TypeScript types are way more complicated than the actual code.
right.
Yeah,
Oh
if you
yeah,
look at
this
the
was
stuff.
just
Yeah.
released 3 days ago, huh?
hmm
Nice. Yeah, you guys are so busy. How many repositories does Ash have?
Too much. And it's I don't know, like it's kind of interesting. Like Zach is now doing other stuff as well, right? So he probably won't have as much time as he did before, but on the other side, me and James now get more time from Alembic to do open source work. So that's pretty
That's
cool.
cool.
Pretty,
Do
yeah,
you
really
enjoy
grateful
doing
for
the
that.
open source stuff over actual
Uh,
projects, or do you kind of like a
like
mixture?
it has its pros and cons. I feel like doing project, you learn a lot about what is needed from the open source stuff.
Yeah, like
Um,
using it
yeah,
versus just thinking how people use it. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And like, but the other side is like the open source. You often have to like the more interesting problems because you do it on a like more generic level and lower level maybe than you would do it on a project. But it's also like that's like an upside and a downside. You have to think a lot more about like the APIs that you're exposed because you can't just change it if you want to change it. Other people might rely on it. So yeah, but I like the open source stuff more than client work. Like if we are honest, like most of the client work is not that interesting. Like it repeats itself a lot.
Yeah, like I mean,
Yeah.
like what are we basically making every day is just forms and CRUD operations,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like yeah, if you look at it objectively, that's kind of the thing. Yeah.
Nothing's changed in web
Yeah,
since the
yeah.
90s.
And like Ash is
We've
great,
gotten
but
better tech,
yeah,
don't get me wrong,
yeah.
but
Like Ash is great, but now it's even easier. So it's not even like it's in some ways it's less engaging, right?
yeah, I'm
To
curious
build the
like
actual
what kind
thing.
of like springs up like when you make a new framework or tool in the Ash umbrella of projects, is it normally like a project that has a need for something new, or is it just an idea that someone on the core team had and you build it?
I would say it's maybe like 50-50 or something like, but a lot of stuff came out of needs that clients had.
Hmm.
James is like an idea guy, like the mix ops thing, the Ash ops things that he did, like where you can like create mixed tasks from your actions.
Hmm.
That was something he just dropped at some point. But yeah, no, I think a lot of things comes out of clients. It's also like a lot easier to build something when you have the need for it.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
yeah, instead of just doing something for just the sake of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
usually tend more towards doing something that I have a need for than just having crazy ideas.
Well, and then like the Discord bot project is just kind of like trying to simplify your life a little bit, right? With manual
Yeah,
tasks.
yeah. I mean, I kind of enjoy the answering question stuff and things, but it's not necessary to make my life easier. It's just to make the response rate like faster to get like
Yeah.
response to the people
I'm
faster.
horrible at
Yeah,
answering questions in text form. Like I hate it. And then like I think Zach is some sort of superhero because like
yeah,
dude's usually, well, at least he was. I know he said he's gonna be stepping back a little. We'll
yeah.
see.
But he like so far he can't really help himself. He's still out
I
there.
know because he's like just
Yeah,
always there. He's and I it's a superpower for sure because I just like I lack the patience. I feel like to put together like a well
hmm
formulated
yeah.
response. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too lazy. I don't know.
Yeah, now I get the feeling that's probably why I respond more on Discord than on the Elixir forum, because it feels like more informal.
I
Yeah.
forget, like, I should be on the forum more, and I like rarely will log in. It's bad. I don't know.
Mm.
I fall into these, like, I just like my own channels, right? Like, I was like, I have Elixir Mentor. I have my own Discord. Like, I don't really have to
Yeah,
leave. I don't have to leave my ecosystem, you know?
yeah, and it's just like it's too much information to just follow all of it, and then
It is.
it's better that like some people are in some ecosystems and they enjoy that there, and then they get answers there, and whoever
Yeah,
wants to pop
exactly.
in, yeah, yeah.
Do you have any fun personal projects that you build?
Um, Nothing that is like really anywhere where you can look at it,
Okay.
or like nothing is that's deployed. Yeah, the Discord bot will probably be my first thing that I host for myself on the site. I did a
That'd
lot
be
of
cool.
self-hosting stuff in the past. Like I came into programming more from a Linux side, like Linux and self-hosting side. Did a
Okay.
lot with and I had like my own server there, like in the cellar for a while, but the
Nice.
it's more expensive to pay the electricity than to rent the than to rent the server here, like most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean I had some WordPress blogs running for some people at the time. I ran my own email and like a bunch of that stuff, but yeah, those like I like doing new stuff more than I like maintaining old stuff, so I kind of shut it all down at some point. So yeah,
That I feel like that's a typical software
yeah,
engineer
yeah,
problem right
yeah,
there, right? You like just you're excited about new projects and then you don't no longer want to maintain an old project.
yeah, exactly.
Then
Yeah,
you quietly just shut it down so you don't have to pay for your server anymore.
yeah, yeah. So like users are good, but also having no users is also really good.
You definitely don't have any headaches when you don't have
Yeah,
users,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
But
yeah,
then you also aren't making money if you don't have users. So
yeah, yeah. That's true. But yeah, that's what I have my day job for, I guess.
exactly. No, I feel that. I I have like a couple like products out there, and it's I always have to like step back and calm, like have the perspective of the user, so I answer
Hmm.
nicely instead of like coming across rude. Because sometimes like I have a browser extension project out there, and some of the questions and issues that people have, it's mind blowing. Like
Yeah.
I don't even know how some of these people open up a web browser sometimes, but they do.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. Like in my like the last company before this one, we were just a three-person people. It's like a three-person team. So we also had like to do a lot of tech support for people using the software, and it's I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know how people
tech.
get through the day sometimes. Yeah.
Dude, I don't know how people
Yeah.
do tech support every single
Yeah.
day. It's like, oh my gosh, like you guys, you're saints because I could not, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have the
Yeah.
patience to do it. I would have like
Yeah.
some smug answer and I would get fired by HR.
Yeah, I would probably fall in that category as well.
Oh man, that's funny. From the open source thing, like since you're a core team member, do, do you find it like difficult with like requests and just handling random
Yeah.
people wanting features that aren't useful or them tearing things apart? How's that? How does that work for you?
It's for me, it's pretty nice because I have kind of like Zach in front of me answering a lot of those things already.
Okay.
And then on the other side, I feel like it's a lot like it's a personal thing, right? And like nobody like I do it because it's fun for me, and it solves my problem that I have during the day job. I not don't necessarily do it for anybody else.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't worry too much about other people having expectations.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. And like I think that's the only way to make like open source sustainable, because you see like if you put too much expectations on yourself, and also like that other people's expectation get into your head, then you're gonna be like probably gonna be miserable at some point. And you see
Yeah.
like then maintainers quitting and stuff because like they should, right? It's not like they don't get paid for that kind of stuff. Like it should be mostly about just sharing and like it's in the license, right? It's you get it
Yeah.
and with like it is what it is, right? And then you can go and like
And if
do
you
your own
want
stuff if you
something,
want
you can
to.
either fork it or submit a PR, right?
Yeah, totally. So
Yeah.
I'm more on the camp on that side of things, and yeah.
It's taken me a long time. Like I remember when I first started programming, like pull request reviews and comments on my code, I took so personally. Like I remember like having my feelings hurt, like I'm dumb versus like no, we just want
Yeah,
good code entering the code base, you know? And yeah, I don't have feelings anymore, so now it doesn't bother me.
yeah, and like it's kind of like you kind of have to be that way, and like because like if you look back 6 months and look at your own code, it's
You're
probably
like, who
you
wrote
probably find it
this?
shit anyway,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
It's like yeah,
exactly.
it's so like such a fast moving like field, and everything is changing all the time, and you learn new stuff. So yeah, being married to the code is not a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I like writing like tutorials and having a YouTube channel brings in a new angle of
hmm
that too. Like, because everyone is like, well, why didn't you add this feature or this feature? Or why didn't you do it this way? And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, you can pretty much do anything 1,000 different ways, guys.
Yeah.
I just either I didn't think about it at the time or I did it the way I knew how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like it's also like people that don't like stuff are much louder than people that like stuff most of the time,
Yeah,
right?
that is true. I will
Yeah.
say though, the Elixir community, they're pretty positive and supportive people.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah,
a lot less negativity than I've seen in other spaces.
yeah. No, that's great. That's also like Mæer was also so amazing just because of the people that were there.
That's how many people were at Goatmeyer?
Wow, I'm bad with numbers, like like gauging numbers like that, but maybe 200,
Oh,
maybe.
two.
I don't
Okay,
know.
like
Yeah,
that's a good
yeah,
sized conference though. I like that. That's
yeah,
fun because I feel like you can kind of you meet everyone at that point.
yeah. Yeah, and it's like the town that it was in was really nice. It feels like a very like touristy town. There are like every corner is a different restaurant or a bar, and because it was kind of slightly off season already, it was kind of like all like everywhere you go, it was just Elixir like
Oh, that's
programmers.
fun. So like if
Yeah,
you go to a random bar, it's just
yeah,
Elixir
yeah,
devs in
yeah,
there.
yeah,
That's awesome. I love that. No, that's
yeah.
really cool. I feel like what country was that in?
And it was in Varberg in Sweden. Yeah,
Okay, Sweden. That would be cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was like pretty off any airport, but the train like you could reach it pretty easily by train. It was like I flew into Gothenburg and then it was just a 40-minute train ride.
Oh,
And
that's not bad.
From Copenhagen, it was like 2 or 3 hours maybe to get
I
there by
love any
train.
excuse to
Yeah.
take train rides too, because like you know, in the U.S., you're like if you're not in a major city, you're not getting on trains. You're
Yeah.
driving
Yeah.
everywhere, you know.
That's true. And from what I heard, the train route from Copenhagen to Varberg was pretty scenic.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I bet. That's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think we can wrap this up. I really appreciate you coming on and hanging out with me. This was a
Thanks.
lot of
Thanks
fun,
for having me.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm excited to one see your Discord bot project come to life, and I think this Ash course that I'm making is going to be probably my most popular yet. So
Yeah. I'm looking forward to watching it.
yeah, don't judge me too bad. Maybe I'll ask you questions before I record some things, but
All good. Like shoot me a message on the Discord or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, awesome. Well, I appreciate you, Barnabas. This was a lot of fun, and I like seeing Bruce in the background the whole time. That was good. And
Thanks. Yeah.
for
Thanks for
everyone
having me.
else,
Was great.
yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a good weekend, and yeah, we'll see you guys. See you in the next one.
Go
I
on.
have to find my button. See, my ding Stream Deck isn't working because OBS keeps updating to beta for me. But anyways, now I have to find my buttons. All right, see you guys. Testing.